if I go back in time, I would start creating content when I came to United States. That's what I keep telling if someone reaches out to me on certifications. Yeah, first thing is just get started, like just hit that post button. So spend every like 30 minutes to 1 hour every day on interview preparation, be it technical, non-technical skills, reading blogs or articles, learning something new.
Welcome to the fifth episode of the Data Talk with Doers. I'm your host Neema, and today we have a very special guest joining us. Please welcome Venkata, a lead analyst from Blue Cross Blue Shield of South Carolina and social media influencer on LinkedIn, where he's built an impressive following of over 75 plus K individuals. Venkata is known for his insightful posts that shine a spotlight on the journey of international students, as well as his shares on valuable interview tips and offer light-hearted stories about the job search experience. His passion for helping others has navigated the complexity of their career paths in truly is been truly inspiring. We are thrilled to have him on the show today to discuss his experience and insights. So let's get further started onto this session to dive deep into our conversation with Venkata. So welcome to the show, Venkata. I'm happy to have you on the show.
Hi Nima, thank you for having me here. Like it's a pleasure to be on your show. I'm looking forward to this session.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to it too. So, for the audience, could you give a light background on where do you come from and how have you inspired your transition into data analytics and what's the journey was all about?
Yeah, sure. So to start from, I'm from Guntur, Andhra Pradesh, and then I did my bachelor's in Amrita, Coimbatore from 2017 to 2021. And right after my bachelor's, I moved to United States to pursue my master's in data science at UConn. And while pursuing my master's, I also worked as a data scientist at Lego as an intern. And right after my master's, I started working as a lead data analyst at Blue Cross Blue Shield of South Carolina. It's been a great journey. It's been over 1.5 years since I've started working, and coming to my content creation journey, I started it in last August. So it's been over 14 months since I've started. It's been great to learning from all the professionals and then like sharing my knowledge, learning from them. It's always like give and take. So it's been a great journey.
Yeah, so and it looks like a great journey as well for me because I've been following you quite some time on LinkedIn, and most of the posts are very insightful, and at the same time you keep your audience or the followers, right? You keep them in a more light-hearted way of sharing some comical post with related to job search, and that's kind of interesting for me as well. So that's a nice way of looking how to put out content. So in terms of your transition, you might have faced quite a couple of challenges, right? So what were some of the biggest challenges you faced during your transition, and how did you overcome them?
Yeah, the first transition was I did my bachelor's in electrical, so data science was a new field for me. So that transition was difficult first of all, and then another transition was Indian culture to United States culture, like moving directly from India to United States from masters. These were like two of the biggest challenges that I have faced, and obviously there are like more complex ones like sponsorship as an international student, and I was a fresher in data field, so like couple of challenges to overcome those. The first one is like electrical to data science. During my final year, I didn't even know what data analytics was until I was in final year. So then I had to take a course called SQL in my final year. It wasn't optional, so I had to take it. So I took that course. So that's how I got introduced to data analytics field. And in the next semester or same semester, I think I had to take basics of machine learning. So these weren't optional, so I had to take them. So I took them, and then I got introduced to it. But I was very good at math, so I thought, let me give it try. Let me give a try to masters in data science. It was interesting. I watched a few videos on YouTube of what is data analytics, what is data science. Learned a few skills. Did a few basic certifications from Udemy. Simply learn, watched a few videos, built few basic projects, and then started applying for universities. And it was COVID time, so I had like time to work on these few skills. Like in 4 to 5 months, I was able to have some foundational skills to write my SOP and LORs. So coming to United States, like that was the biggest challenge, like getting the United States transitioning from electrical to data science. And once I came to States, it was like we needed sponsorship for to get a job, and then I was a fresher, so and then I had to build my profile during my masters to stand out from the crowd.
Yeah, yeah, that is quite a challenge actually to navigate the whole moving from a different country and at the same time adapting to the culture and finding your place into the job market is also a bit of a challenge now. And so now that you are in US kind of accomplishing what you wanted always, so looking back, what would you have done differently in your earlier career, like or career or journey to prepare for this field of data analytics?
I One thing that I would have done differently was if I go back in time, I would start creating content when I came to United States. I started creating content after I got the job, but then if I were to do that again, I would start when I came to United States and start networking early. I did start networking early, but then it wasn't enough. I realized it in my last semester. But then I should have done more of networking and then created personal brand while I was doing my masters. That would have made my job search a lot easier, because my job search wasn't easier. I had faced thousands of rejections like every international student. So if I had started personal brand and then networking a little early, that would have made my job search easier. But at least it's never too late, so at least I've started now. I'm happy for that, but then that's always there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I understand about job search being difficult and how you can leverage your personal brand is something we have to even discuss about. So we can keep those discussions later. And as a data analyst, you said you have already done couple of certifications from Udemy and all, right? So how can a beginners leverage certifications and online courses to stand out from the crowd? Because the reason why I'm asking this is I have also moved to a different country, and most of the time people say certifications are not that great because anybody can do a certification. Hands-on experience is more valuable, but still there are a lot of certificates online. People are releasing new courses online which are like trendy with AI on it. So what is your perception on beginners leveraging certifications and online courses?
That's so true. That's what I keep telling if someone reaches out to me on certifications. It's always good to do certifications, but what matters more is the learnings from certification and then how you leverage those skills to build a project. As you mentioned, anyone can do certification. Like, say, I transitioned from electrical to data analyst. I watch a 10-hour video and then now I'm a certified data analyst. But anyone can do it. Watch a video, complete the certification. But what matters is that, like, if I did a project out of my learnings and then build something out of it, that gives more credibility than just doing a certification. But there are certifications which come with all these things, like you need to build a project to get certified, you need to write an exam to get certified, you need to like, that's a proctored exam again, like
Yeah.
Tableau desktop specialist. There's few certifications by AWS. There are few certifications where you need to give exam. It's a live proctored for 2 hours, and then you need to few certificates also need a project to complete. So if you are doing something like this, they're like very valuable. Companies do prefer that. But if you are doing a normal certification, make sure to build something out of it. So when you are asked this question during your interviews, you are not just saying I'm a certified this and this. You are saying I'm certified this and this, and by learning by from the skills that I've learned and leveraged, I build this project out of it, and this is what I've done in this project. So that's what sets you apart from the competition more than just certification.
Great, great. Yeah, that gives a direction to, I think beginners can use that way of handling certifications. So you are a lead analyst in the organization, right? So could you walk us through a typical day of your role on how things progress in a as being a data analyst or a lead data analyst?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I'll give a high level understanding. So like, it starts with Scrum every day. So 15 to 20 minutes Scrum with my manager and director. Sometimes my vice president also joins the Scrum. So just to talk like where everyone is. Do we have any roadblocks? Like, do we need any help from managers or other departments or access issues? So any roadblocks in our projects, and then we discuss, and then we get help from our senior leaders, and then it starts with like there might be few projects that I'm working on like every day. So like before day I would be working on something, and then I'll be continuing working on that, and then a few times I get ad hoc requests from my senior leaders like, can you pull this data, can you make this report? So that takes up few hours, and then most of my time takes up by data gathering and data cleaning. So like data is in like multiple databases, like hundreds of tables, so gathering and cleaning takes most of my time. And then there are few projects which are like 3 to 4 month projects, and there are ones which are like a week or two projects. So like prioritizing is very important, like catching up the deadlines and then submitting it on time. And I have a team of two, so like we all three of us work together, and then we report to our managers and directors, having multiple calls like every day, not every day, but then once in 2 to 3 days, just to see roadblocks, and then where we need help. Yeah, mostly these are the things that I work on every day on, like as a general.
Mhm. Yeah, 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 understood. How I think you are quite busy in work. It looks like it's been a tough, like sequence of works coming, but all across your
Yeah,
organization. So,
yeah, it's very
and
interesting.
in terms of your work, what would you say some of the tools or processes that you rely on daily, and how do they support you on work?
Yeah. First thing would be MySQL to pull the data, and then I use Power BI to make the reports, and I also use Power Automate once in a while to automate the data transfer or like automate few of the things in my workflow. And obviously I use Excel. The end reports sometimes are going to be Excel for C-suite people. And I
Mm-hmm.
also use AWS for ETL transformations, like AWS S3, Glue, and Athena. For like I am working on a ETL project right now, so these are the few technical stack that I use at my work.
Okay, okay, okay. Interesting to know the technical stack. So, like you said, Venkata, like we'll have to learn the skills than the certification. So, what are the different specific habits that have helped you to sharpen your analytical mindset?
That's a really good question. So, analytical mindset is very important. Most of us, like, even have been there. So, we just focus on technical skills, but we don't focus much on non-technical or analytical skills when we are getting into field, because we need to do some research on, like, first, what I would recommend for anyone to get into field is connect with professionals and understand the requirements of a role, be it data analyst, data scientist, software, mechanical, electrical, be it any field. Connect with an industrial professional, like few of them, when you're getting into field, and understand the skills required. So then you would know, are non-technical skills important, are technical skills important. So and then that's a good starting point to have a clear roadmap. So for me to develop analytical mindset, I started reading blogs and articles, and that helped me, like say for data analytics you have analytics vidya, towards data science, KD nuggets, simply statistics. So like they have amazing blogs and articles based on real world examples. Those things did help me. And I did participate in a lot of competitions and hackathons during my masters. So they were always, competitions comes with a combination of technical skills and non-technical skills. So you got to present your findings to the judges and give business recommendations. You need to think differently to win the competition. So these things did help me a lot in building my profile and during my interviews also.
Oh, okay, okay. So yeah, I think those habits are that have really helped you in your job search should be because I've heard a lot about getting into competitions and hackathons. So, but not many have tried it because one thing is hackathon, it goes on for a day or two and it's quite strenuous, right? So but I think learning from that place is a huge bonus for anybody who's looking into going to career, the data field. So that's quite a good point that you have mentioned, Venkata. So in terms of networking and building connection, you have really built yourself well in on LinkedIn. So, can you share any networking strategies that helped you in building your personal brand as well as how that has turned up into your career?
Yeah. So like I didn't have this personal brand when I was a student, as I mentioned. So the networking that I did when I was a student was different. Now the networking that I do now is different. So when I was a student, it was more like alumni. Alumni is your first network, so it's easy to connect with them because both of you have studied in the same university. So leverage your alumni network for sure. Every university has an alumni network. Just go to their LinkedIn page, find alumni, see where they're working. If you find something, reach out to them, or just reach out to them, ask for guidance or mentorship. They'll be, most of them will be more than happy to guide you. My alumni have been really helpful for me. And next thing is your professors. You have direct contact with them, you have their email, you have their LinkedIn profiles, so have a good connection with your professors. My professors are really good. They have referred me in their companies. I did participate in competitions along with them, like I was in their team. So even if they were not in my team, I did get help from them. Like if I had a roadblock, I would drop an email to them, so they would guide me. Okay, use this technique, use this advanced technique. Oh, this is where you might be wrong, so use another way approach. So they're always there to guide me. And attending conferences or webinars, be it online or in person, so attend few conferences. So a simple Google search would give you like meetups in data science around me, or in New York City or in Boston if you can fly, or if it's a commutable distance. So attending those events or conferences did help us. And as I mentioned before, competitions and hackathons, so if I did participate those in one of few of them. So all those judges are in contact with me, like I'm in contact with them. And then if you go to a hackathon, there'll be a lot of people attending, and then those peers might be industry professionals, so make connections with your peer, like your competition. And the judges for hackathons and competitions, if they're in person, there'll be a lot of companies attending too, because they want to promote their products. Startups launches their products, big tech will promote their new product features, like everything is related to AI right now. So there might be more meetups happening around you without your knowledge. A simple Google search would give you the results. So attend these events. And leverage LinkedIn. Like if you're targeting data analyst role, like find the people in who are data analysts, using search bar, filter out, and then have LinkedIn Premium, connect with them. If you're in software, if you're mechanical, a simple LinkedIn search would give you people who are working, connect with them. So I would recommend networking while you are studying, but not when you need job, because when you are you can't network efficiently when you are desperate for a job, because you want faster replies from people, whereas it doesn't happen because we never know the situation of other person. So I would recommend networking when you're not desperate for a job.
Yeah, that sounds solid advice. And so for a person, for a beginner who's looking to build a brand, as someone you have already been huge, now you're huge on LinkedIn, right? So what would be your advice for people who are starting their LinkedIn content creation or anything like that?
Yeah, first thing is just get started, like just hit that post button, so no one's gonna judge you. So few things that I would recommend is like share your knowledge. Like you have done a certification, that's a good start, post about it. You have learned a new concept in SQL, Excel, or Power BI, post about it. You have done a project, post about it. So one thing that I was also had fear of was like, what would people think of me if I was posting continuously? That is always there. Like I understand that, I've been there, but then once you start, LinkedIn is addictive. So trust me. So once you start posting and once you see results, it's addictive, so you'll keep posting. So just get started, post your learning, certifications, skills. If you had a call with someone and then you learned something, post about the call. Or if you've done a project, if you watched a video, and then you can share your learnings. And as you keep posting, you'll get more ideas to post. And then that's how you build personal brand. And engage with other creators post, like creators or any person's post. So engage with them. So I engage, like before I text a person, I engage with their content first, and then I get into their DMs. That's my new way of networking. So I wouldn't get into DMs directly unless it's required. Most probably I'll engage with their content for a few days and then get into DMs. So the probability of me getting a reply is way higher that way.
Okay. Yeah, and I also like the way how you told LinkedIn is addictive because it is true that you once you start, then you cannot stop. So well,
Yeah,
that's
there's no
true.
looking back.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. And let's talk about the job market. So you have already mentioned how one can stand out among the crowd, But now the job market is quite different. People, it's not same like how it is earlier. And let's be honest, it's different from India to into a different North American countries. So, as a data analyst, how can a data analyst be proactive in adapting this evolving job market?
That's a good question again. So one thing is like I see a lot of people spending a lot of time on job searching, but not on interview prepping. So like you spend like 4 or 5 hours every day on job search, and then you get a call. But if you can't convert the call, spending that 4 to 5 hours might not be of no use. So one thing I recommend everyone is, if you're say, let's say you're spending 5 hours on job search every day, applying, networking, or anything, reduce it to 4 hours and spend that 1 hour on interview preparation. So let's say a recruiter reaches out to you today and says that you have an interview tomorrow morning. You shouldn't be scared, and then you shouldn't start preparing overnight. Like nothing can be learned overnight or mastered overnight. So spend every like 30 minutes to 1 hour every day on interview preparation, be it technical, non-technical skills, reading blogs or articles, learning something new. So set aside some time every day to prep for it interviews. And that's one first tip that I would give, like split out your time for job search, networking, and interview prep. Next one is spend time on networking, leverage referrals. And by referrals, I don't mean like getting a referral is good, but it might not help you sometimes because everyone's getting referrals too. But what might help while referral is, once you get referred, ask the person if they can go an extra mile and then connect you with the recruiter or hiring manager directly if they can. Don't pressurize them, because it's not possible for everyone, or they might not know the recruiter or hiring manager. But if you could ask, and then if they could help, that's going to be a real game changer. So that's one thing that I do recommend. And during your interviews, be confident, make sure to structure your answers, give a lot of mock interviews. Never ignore mock interviews. Like a lot of people, they don't give mock interviews, and then they don't know where's the gap, and then they get rejected, and they wouldn't understand where's the mistake is. Only when you give mock interviews, you get real-time feedback on what you're doing correctly, what you're doing in a wrong way. So as you give more mock interviews, you can start with your friends and then move on to using a mirror, and then a real person like industry professional, by paying or unpaid. If you have a mentor, they can do an unpaid one. But if you have to invest. Don't see it as an expense, mock interviews, or if you want to buy a platform like LeetCode, DataFord, or any platform, don't see it as an expense. See it as an investment for your career. These are like few things that I think that should help job seekers. And try to go an extra mile during your interviews. Like don't just give a simple one-liner answers. So try to go in depth if the time permits.
Okay. Yeah, so that actually helps in understanding what we should do in when you're doing a job search. Another thing, my another question was basically how to, as a candidate, how they can make an impact during the interviews, because now most of the interviews are virtual, right? Like gone are the days where people go to a company and attend physically all the interviews. So, what like you have already mentioned some of the answer, but could you give a more deep dive answer into what can a candidate do to impact them in an interview?
Yeah. First thing is, as I mentioned, mock interviews. So before you get into a real interview, so make sure that you have enough practice. So one tip that I would give is leverage ChatGPT or Gemini or any AI tool. So use your resume, use the job description, ask it to generate a few questions based on the job description, and ask it to generate answers based on your resume. So now you have questions, now you have answers, and you can personalize the answers right now if something is wrong, or if you want to add something, or if something is missing. That's the first thing. And a few other things to consider are, you get this question asked a lot, like, do you have any questions for us, be it recruiter round, hiring manager round, coding round, or final round. A lot of candidates just say no, that I don't have any questions. That's a big red flag. So make sure to prepare solid questions, like ask about the company, the team, the role, the project that you might be working on. If it's a recruiter round, you can ask about the hiring process. So like most of the times you might know who's interviewing you. Go through their LinkedIn profile, see what they're working on, incorporate those things while you're giving the answer. So you want to tell them what they want to hear more than what you know. That's a thing that can help a lot. So that's one thing. And structuring your answers using star format or star format, like any format that you feel that it's helpful. and preparing for behavioral questions also. So if you don't have stories, you use ChatGPT again. So you have, I mean, everything is at your fingertips right now with the rise in AI, and there are pros and cons. So this is a pro, like one of the advantages that you can do. And practicing coding. So you wanna solve it in time with less, I wouldn't say no errors, but with less errors. So as you practice every day, like that's gonna help you. Like for data analyst, you might expect a SQL coding round, or sometimes a case study round. Again, for case studies, mock interviews are the way. Or there are a lot of YouTube channels where you can find mock interviews, like Interview Query and Data Interview, Exponent, Try Exponent. They have a lot of mock interviews. Coming to SQL interviews, so again, same thing. Don't practice 20 questions per day and then rest for 20 days. So practice one question per day for 20 days. That's a lot better. And start with easy questions, move on to medium, and then advanced questions. So consistency is
Yeah.
the key, and
Yeah,
mock
yeah, nice,
interviews.
nice. Thanks a lot, Venkata, to provide those tips, because I think due to pressure, a lot of the job search candidates do not, either they get burnt out because of applying endlessly. So these kind of direction or strategies really help them to like get sorted and not spend extra hours or nothing than spending it wisely. So yeah, that's very interesting that you have specified some good points. So when you have already, you said you have done internship. So as a beginner, what should one look in an internship or a freelance opportunity to maximize their learning, or try to convert it into a full-time opportunity?
So my internship was an unpaid opportunity. So
Oh.
what happens with Lego is every semester Lego comes to UConn, like, and they choose 5 candidates for an internship, 3 from masters and then 2 from MBA. So my professors recommended my profile for the Lego, like, and then I got the internship as an unpaid intern. But then it's fine as long I was a beginner to data analytics field. My focus was not on money, but then it was on like getting hands-on experience and then knowledge. So I was fine with taking it. But for someone who got an internship, and then if you want to convert it to full time, so few things would be: make sure that you're meeting your deadlines, and then try to connect with people in real time, and then share your ideas, share your recommendations. Don't be scared to take initiatives or responsibilities. So if you see a chance or a gap in the process, and then if you have an idea to propose, go like propose the solution or a turn around it. So don't just keep those ideas in your mind. Like the more you talk and then the more you share your thoughts, the more they'll remember you, be it your manager or like your team lead or the director if you're working with them directly. So like make those, like take those initiatives, take responsibilities, and then showcase the impact in like the time is limited, 2 to 3 months. So the best thing you can do is to give ideas and then be proactive, take feedback, and make sure to not repeat the mistakes again, and keep getting better day by day.
Great, great. Yeah, that's important. Keeping getting better day by day is what I think it's more important than like just hitting the mark at the end of the day. So so when in terms of job search, there are a couple of people who do. All of us do have dream company, right? So when in terms of people who are looking to job search and finding ways to align with the industry, how do you think an aspirants can start identifying companies that go well with their passion or strength?
Yeah, that's again a good question. So to get started, if you have a niche, let's say you want to get into finance sector, or if you want to get into healthcare sector, so start doing a research, like a Google search again, healthcare companies in United States. If you're in States, if you're in UK, healthcare companies in UK, and then go to their LinkedIn pages, find people, connect with those individuals directly, and then like again, remember, if you connect with 100 people, you'll only get reply from 5 to 10 people. So that's okay. That's how LinkedIn works. So I see it in a different way. To get reply from 5 people, you gotta text 100 people. You get reply, connect with them, and then ask the requirements, or like what they expect when they're hiring a fresher, or how to get the domain knowledge. So healthcare domain, like healthcare knowledge is not something that might be learned in a technical masters, but there are masters like masters in health informatics or something like that. But if the domain is not something that can be learned outside experience, so you need to connect with professionals, and they might suggest you reading, like what blogs to read or what articles to follow, where they can find where how they have learned when they were transitioning or when they were getting into field. So that's the first thing. But if you don't have a niche, let's say you're open to any field like me, so I build like diverse projects, like one in healthcare, one in finance, like one in technology sector. So whenever I get an interview related to healthcare, I talk about that. Whenever I get a technology interview, I talk about that. So either way, it's fine when you're getting into industry. But if you have a niche, go for it. Connect with professionals, attend webinars or meetups again, because like if there's an healthcare startups, I see few posts on LinkedIn where they say we are going to conduct this meetup in Boston at this time. So if you're interested in learning more about healthcare or our company, attend this meetup. So sometimes there might be virtual or virtual also, because of COVID. Like now everything has changed into virtual too. So that's a good thing again. So try to connect with people from different companies and industries and see the requirements and get suggestions and mentorship from them, and then get a roadmap of how to get started, and then attend events, like connect with people, learn from their journeys, understand what worked for them, what did not work for them, and now you know what to do and what not to do.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's a nice tips that you have offered, Venkata. So in terms of the job trends, right? Like um, as a person who have already been in the whole journey of navigating from being an international student to a full-time work employee, so what would you say for a person who are looking into the right time to apply? Because there is a couple of periods where hiring doesn't even take place. So, what are your tips on identifying strategy, job targets, and stuff?
Yeah, I would say at least 5 to 6 months before your graduation is the right time to start for applying. But for networking, the moment you land in States, that's when you know you got to start networking, which I haven't done completely, but I would recommend you to do, like start networking as soon as you can. But then applying for full-time jobs at least 5 6 months before you graduate.
Mm. Okay, that's very important because that now I would say more than even if you are not a student, networking even before you wanted a job is very important because that's what I've been I have gone through when during my job search. So that's the
Exactly.
most
So
important tip I've
when you
realized.
start applying for 5 to 6 months before your job search, you need to have
Yeah,
a solid list of people that you can reach out. So you don't
yeah.
want to reach out saying I'm hi, I would like to connect with you. Your message should be hi, I found this role, can you refer me? So you should
Uh,
have made that connection with the person directly before you found a role at that company.
right.
Which I found it difficult because I was connecting with people and then getting referrals simultaneously,
Mm.
which should have been like I know this person already. They are just like a WhatsApp text away. So like I just tell
Oh.
them, hey, I found this role. Can you refer me? I wish it was like that, but then I recommend you to start networking before. So by
Mm.
the time you graduate, you have list of 100 people, 200 people, 300 people from hundreds of companies whom you can rely on. Like drop this text and say, hey, refer me this role.
Yeah, yeah, that would be basically easy the make the process more easier. So yeah, and so that's all with in terms of more general questions, Venkata. So in this season, we also have a section called Rapid Fire. It's just to
Okay.
get a speedy answers on different topics. So let's get started with rapid fire. So if you would go back to the start of your career, what one skill would you learn sooner to fast track your
SQL.
okay. Yeah, that's unanimously, I think everyone can tell SQL is one coding language that um, is very important for being a data professional at also. Yeah. And secondly, what's one myth about data analytics that you wish people would stop believing?
It's easy to get in.
Okay. Oh, so people do believe that it's easy to get in. I'm not aware of it.
Yeah, I mean it's not difficult to learn, but it's not easy to get in because the competition is really getting tougher and tougher. But
Mm,
it's not easy, it's not difficult, but then with right skills and network, and
yeah.
then with good preparation, it shouldn't be difficult.
Okay, okay. Yeah. So if you could master only one tool or programming language in data analytics, what would it be and why?
SQL again, because like be it data analytics, data scientist, or data engineering, or any data related role, it's really very important. So I would choose it e- every day.
Yeah. So, and what is the most underrated skill that data analysts should focus on?
Business acumen, so try reading blogs and articles. So technical skills can be learned, but non-technical skills need to come, like they will come from practice and reading a lot of blogs and articles.
Okay, yeah, that is true, and I think also on learning to also communicate that business knowledge is also very not much talked about, but because we get certifications all around on how to build a portfolio, how to improve your SQL. Those are the things that all are always online, right? But nobody talks about how to acquire these business knowledge, share the business knowledge, all that. So that's one and definitely an underrated skill. So and the last question I would like to say ask also is, what is the key to keep standing out from the crowd during this very different changing job market?
Networking, personal brand, and interview prep.
Okay. Okay, so that sums all like what a normal job search candidate should has to do. So that's all I have, Venkata. It's been a pleasure discussing with you on these topics because a lot of your content online on LinkedIn has been more of educating your followers or different people on how to improve your job search portfolio and stuff like that. So I really wanted you to be part of this session because I'm sure most of my listeners or viewers also are coming from a different background and want to get into data field. So it's been a pleasure having you here.
Thank you for having me, Neha.